Israeli military says it has recovered the bodies of 3 hostages killed in Israel on October the 7th. Their bodies initially taken by Hamas to Gaza. About 100 hostages are believed to be still alive inside Gaza, along with the remains of roughly 30 more. Despite initial optimism, the most recent round of hostage ceasefire talks in Cairo broke down without a deal. A U.S. official tells NBC News that National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan is set to travel to Saudi Arabia and Israel this weekend to try to resurrect negotiations. The trip comes as some desperately needed humanitarian aid is entering Gaza in a new way, a temporary U.S.-constructed pier in the Mediterranean Sea, which is now operational. I'll take you through the voyage and the cumbersome delivery of this. Aid first arrives in Cyprus, a small island nation in the Mediterranean, where it is screened and loaded onto U.S. military ships, which are then sent to the pier. Then trucks carrying things like food, water, medical supplies, hygiene kits, shelters, and more are offloaded from the ships onto the pier and driven on shore. From there, the United Nations is in charge of distribution inside Gaza. As the U.S., the UN, and other nations and aid groups note, while this route is important and it is welcome, it is by no means a substitute for land routes, which are far more efficient and much faster. As for those land routes, the few that are open are slow, and some aid caravans have come under attack by extremist Israelis. The main entry point for aid into Gaza, the Rafah crossing on the Egyptian border, is now under Israeli control on the Gazan side and is closed. As for Rafah, Israel continues military operations around the city, slowly pushing closer and continuing to vow a major offensive, claiming that it is Hamas's final stronghold. It is also home to more than 1 million Palestinian refugees who were initially told by the Israeli military to go to Rafah to seek shelter. Joining me now is David Miliband, the president and CEO of the International Rescue Committee, which is operating in Gaza right now. He's also a former foreign secretary of the United Kingdom. He's the author of Rescue, Refugees, and the Political Crisis of Our Time. Good to see you again, David. Thank you for being here. I wanted to start with that. In the last block, we showed a video of these kids who are trying to survive and do the things it takes to survive, and the criticism they got by people who said, this doesn't seem believable if you're living in this war zone. You know a lot about refugees, and one of the things you know is that people will take whatever little they have and try to make something that resembles a life out of it.
Well, thank you, Ali, and thank you for showing those remarkable videos. I always say to people, if you only look at the statistics, you get depressed. But if you look at the people, you have hope. And it's the hope that you see in the courage, the tenacity, sometimes the humor of the clients of organizations like the International Rescue Committee. So the light that you've shone on that extraordinary resilience, that indomitable human spirit, I think is very, very important. Equally, I really appreciate the framing that you've done for this section, because there are some very straightforward ways of addressing the humanitarian crisis, and I use that word advisedly, in Gaza today. Remember, it's a population twice as dense as New York City. It's suffering from what Secretary Blinken calls imminent famine, because essentially the border crossings have been closed, and the critical one is Rafah, where there's now a military offensive. Just to put it in context, since I was on your show 3 weeks ago describing unspeakable conditions of sewage flowing through streets, of doctors unable to do work in hospitals because they don't have medicines, the situation has actually got worse because the ceasefire talks have broken down. The Rafah offensive has driven 600,000 people out of Rafah, and the borders are now closed. And so while we welcome any aid that comes from the pier, as you mentioned, we have to understand that yesterday, 15 trucks equivalent worth of food came through, and before the war started, it was 500 trucks a day. So we need to get this in perspective.
And you tweeted on this topic yesterday. You said, we are all desperate to get more and some aid and aid workers into Gaza. Any additions are welcome. But never forget, land routes are simpler, more direct than the pier. So land crossings need to be open and not closed. And in Gaza, we need much freer flow of aid to those in need. Help me understand this, because the pier was treated as a big deal. And in a situation like this, any help is useful. For a while, some people were dropping, they were doing airdrops, of food. That can be both dangerous and sort of doesn't get distributed well. What's preventing us from just getting aid in there by road?
There are two things to understand, Ali. There's getting aid into Gaza, and then there's transporting the aid within Gaza. And at all stages, when I say aid, I mean literally food, medicines, etc., but also aid workers. Getting into Gaza, the problem is, one, there are not enough trucks being allowed in because the borders have now been closed. Two, trucks get turned back because of allegations that medical equipment could be used for dual use, could be military use as well as civilian use. So, for example, even a pair of scissors gets not just chucked out of the truck, the whole truck gets turned back. So you've got this squeeze at the border. Then within Gaza, there are actually roads that can be driven down, but there are checkpoints, and there are very well documented stories of even UN convoys getting turned around or getting fired upon. It is a war zone, but that doesn't excuse the requirement that civilians are being allowed to live. And those practical bureaucratic obstacles sit alongside the political ones. And what's happened in the last 3 weeks is the bureaucracy's got worse and the politics of the war have got worse too.
We've talked about the kind of money it would take to rebuild Gaza. It's less money than you would think, given how much money there is in the world. What about society? Talk to me about the rebuilding of a society. You talk about sort of imminent famine. One of the things about famine is it's not a switch. It's not binary. You don't go from famine to not famine in a day. There are structural things that happen within a society when people start to die of hunger. And then there are political things that happen in a society when people are dying of hunger by something that is not caused by natural causes. Tell me about what that rebuild looks like, not just the monetary rebuild of Gaza once this is over.
Well, all of our experience, Ali, is that the biggest renewable resource is hope. And if people have hope of a better future, you can build politics, you can build institutions, you can build a future. If they have no hope, then I'm afraid it's a vicious circle. We work especially with kids, and the potential for kids to be turned around after war. We've just finished an extraordinary project, especially with Syrian kids in Jordan and Lebanon. We've seen remarkable progress that humanitarian organizations can make. It's called the Alan Simpson Project. We did it with Sesame Workshop. Your viewers can click and see it online. We've shown that if the kids are given a hope of a better future, they'll grasp it. Just like you showed with the kids playing football, what I would call football, what you'd call soccer on the beach, that you can build hope. Unless there is a horizon of hope, it's impossible. And I'm afraid that the cash, the money, is the least of the problem. The biggest problem there is the absence of hope from the crisis of politics.
Yeah. David, good to see you again. Thank you, and thank you for all the work that you and your organization do. David Miliband is the president and CEO of the International Rescue Committee. He's the former Foreign Secretary of the United Kingdom and the author of Rescue, Refugees, and the Political Crisis of Our Time.